Hi, my name is Pamela Quinn, and I want to welcome you to my YouTube channel where we talk about esoteric topics in relationship to yoga. The topic for today is called the gunas, G-U-N-A-S. Gunas, and there are three of them, are the energies that naturally, organically arise within your consciousness and create the way that you show up in the world and the way that you view the world. The first energy is called Tamasic. You can think of it as black. It's dark, it's death-like, it's inert. It's not a terrible energy because without it we wouldn't exist on this material realm, but too much of it in your personality, in your life, and what do you end up with? A lot of dark. The next energy is called Rajas. It's red because red creates action. It's heated. Action's great. We need action to change. But again, too much change, chaos. The third energy is called Sattva, which is sattvic, and it means white. So we're black, red, and white now. It's purity. It's what yogis strive to in relationship to all things. So there's three energies that are naturally, organically going to arise within you. They arise depending on what you are taking in through your senses. And that's key. That's the good news, because you can change the life you're having if you start to take more sattvic, more pure, more better things into your life and less dark things into your life. Does that make sense? So an example would be, let's think about our senses. Let's think about smell. How do you feel when you are walking out to your car and you're parked in a parking lot and you're next to the dumpster? Pretty nasty, right? So that's a very tamasic smell. How do you feel when you put your perfume on in the morning? Yeah, that's a very beautiful sattvic smell. So we want to, in our life, move away from the smell of trash and move towards the smell of perfume or flowers. The music you listen to, and please, I know people are going to argue, but let's think about a very tamasic type of music. We'll say that that would be maybe like death metal. I mean, they even use the word death in there, right? So it's very dark. It creates angst. And if you look at music on the level of like yoga music or ambient music or even a lot of classical music, it's very light, it's very sweet, it's very calm, it's very peaceful. So that is an example of sattva. And there's all the in between, and that's Rajasic. And we can go through all the senses, but I think you probably get it at this point. The reason why this is important is because if you take more tamasic energy in, you're going to have a less good, a less happy experience of life. Now, this is what happens to people. And this is why you should never judge people too, by the way. Let's think about a baby. So two babies are born. One baby is born into a loving household. They have financial well-being. They're in a good school system. The parents are present for the child. The kid has a good education, gets to play sports, go off to college. I mean, that sounds pretty good, doesn't it? Yeah, that's a very, very pure, positive, sattvic life. And that person is going to have a better life. They've had more opportunities that were sattvic. Now let's look at another person. So a baby's born, maybe not into the best situations. Maybe a single parent who really has to struggle, who doesn't have any help. Maybe the child is food insecure. Maybe the child's even in an abusive situation. So that person has taken in through life a lot of dark, tamasic, death-like energy. And when they show up in life, they're not going to have as much opportunity as another person. So this is how we look at it from a yogic perspective. And I know all the arguments you're going to put below about, you know, doing hard work and blah, blah, blah. And I get it, but I don't think you can argue that that person growing up in a worse experience is going to have more to overcome than the person growing up in a less worse experience. Let's say you had a mixed experience. So that's what's happened in most people's life. Most people have had whatever kind of life, and then some bad stuff has happened to you, and now you're showing up the way you are. And the way you're showing up, it could be very dark. And a Tamazic person looks like a person who's, you know, kind of stuck in their ways, maybe depressed, maybe lethargic, maybe not taking care of themselves so well. A Registic person will look like a person who's, you know, opinionated, really about getting what they want, really trying to force their will on others into like accumulation of material objects. And then a Sattvic person is more contented, more peaceful, sharing information because they just want to better the world or better other people. More joyous, more sparkly. The way we can manipulate this energy so that we can move from one to the other, and do keep in mind, I understand we're all kind of going in and out of it, right? So no judgment here. But the way you can manipulate it is just refine your senses. In yoga, you know, we like to start with a food body. So we actually call our bodies a covering made of food. If you want to talk about food and the qualities, it's very clear in yoga. So Tamazic foods are sugars, fried foods, non-food foods, meat. Meat is Tamazic because you are eating something that's dead. And when you eat something that is dead, it's teaching the body, it's teaching your consciousness that it too can die. So those would be Tamazic things you would move away from, and then you could move towards things that were better for you. Things like fruits, vegetables, nuts, grains, beans, you know, all the good stuff. And then the stuff, and that's very Sattvic, and then the stuff in between is Registic. And so those are things that are creating heat or action in your body. And that would be like lemons, citrusy things, onions, garlics, anything, peppers that create heat. So that's a simple thing. Like if you just improve your diet, you're going to improve the quality of your life, because these energies within you are going to change. And this changes how you see the world. So in one of my videos, I talked about seeing the tree, and it confused the hell out of everybody. But the way you see something, and you're not conscious of it, is the crazy thing, is dependent on the energies that arise within you. So if we could get more Sattvic, more pure, more beautiful energies to rise within us, can you imagine how much more beautiful your own personal life would be? And all of these practices are about you getting healthy and you getting happy. So maybe sit down tonight and make a list of things in your home, in your environment, or things that you do, and think to yourself, well, is this very dark? Or is this very heated? Or is this very red? Or is this very light? Is this very white? Like, what am I doing in my life? You know, am I sleeping in every day? That's Tamazic. Am I staying up really, really late every night? That's Tamazic. Do I feel a need to be right? Am I really opinionated? Am I forcing my opinion on people around me when they talk to me? That's very Registic. Am I caught up in this political drama that seems never ending? That's very Registic. Do I go for a walk in nature every day? Do I eat good and healthy foods? Am I able to listen? Do I spend time in contemplation and reading? That's very pure. So the process is to just start choosing one up and shifting everything you're taking into your senses. Even the way you live. Is your house clean? Is it neat? Is it organized? Are there piles of stuff everywhere? We have to clean our houses up. Are you scheduled? Are you organized? Have you planned for the future? What does your financial situation look like? We have to get all that organized. And then we build this foundation to allow Sattva to take over our life, and it creates a quality, it creates an energy in you called Ojas, and that's your spiritual divine life force energy. And that's what gives people their sparkle and makes them charismatic and really gives them the power too to manifest what they want. So I love your comments. Please subscribe, of course, and like, of course. I do love your comments below, though, because I love the discussions. The reason I started this YouTube channel is because I just learned so much about yoga that I want to share with everybody, and I want to talk to you guys about this stuff. I mean, it's absolutely fascinating to me, and I love to be educated too. So the more you know, and you know a lot more than me, a lot of you do, please share it with me, and maybe we can start a community of sharing. So have a beautiful, beautiful day. Love you guys.